DJ TAI, how you doing, man?
What's good, my bro? I'm doing well.
It's been a minute, actually.
It's been a while, man. Thanks for having me on again, man. Happy to be back. How are you?
I'm alright. I'm good, actually. I'm loving life, bro. Life is good. We thank God for His grace, man. And for a lot of people, I tell them, oh, it must be really far to travel here. But this is actually your area, isn't it?
I mean, it's not too.
Area, right?
Yes, I went to school not too far from here, probably about 15-20 minutes away from here. So yeah, it's interesting being back after so long. But, yeah.
So DJ TAI, who is DJ TAI? I mean, I know who you are, but for all of us, what tell us about the myriad and wonderful things that you do? Well, and then we're gonna get into it as we go. But yeah,
I'm gonna break that down real quick. So I'm TAI. TAI is like the overall thing. There's a lot of different things I'm interested in that I've got my hands in at the moment. DJing is one of them. The multi-genre DJ. I've had the pleasure of DJing outside of the country, for artists like Governor B. Been in Sweden, played in Qatar once before as well. I've just been around, just trying to give people the good vibes that I have when I'm trying to play and DJ as well. I've got an events and artist management company called Young Future. We operate as a talent agency as well. We're really just trying to give creatives an amazing platform to just showcase their skills and abilities, and then also like bringing the creatives and the crowd together, just making them feel like family and providing those good vibes. So that's part of what I do as well. I do some marketing consultation, so I'm like, it's more so like looking at the bigger picture and thinking about, okay, cool, how do you kind of paint the, like show people who you want to be, how do you kind of get from one place to the next place through the way you present yourself. And I'm just an all-around creative, man. So something I've not actually said to anyone, but I've always wanted to be an extra in the film, and this year I did it. So I've been doing some acting stuff. I create myself as well, so I play some instruments, I do a little bit of singing here and there, and some music might be coming out at some point, but yeah, man, just anything to just be in the creative side of things, but also to kind of be an entrepreneur in this space, and just seeing what opportunities come up and just living life and enjoying myself, man. So I think I should have said first and foremost, man, I'm a child of God, love Jesus. All right.
Cool, wonderful. Yeah, child of God. Yeah, that's the first thing. So let's. I mean, there's a lot there. So let's talk about your DJing, man. How did you get into that? And yeah, tell me. You DJ at various dynamics. Where is the best dynamic you like to DJ next as well?
Yeah. So it's an interesting one. So I guess to kind of delineate, I DJ all around. I'm a creative all around. So I don't just sit in one space. I kind of operate in a lot of different areas, and so I have, in terms of my DJing, I've done anything from parties to weddings to like events, DJed for artists. For example, I did Notting Hill Carnival last year, doing it again this year. And to be fair, I think there's two places that I really like. Those house parties where it's like, for example, someone's birthday's coming up and they're trying to have a good time, and the vibes are just 10-10 and everyone's just having a good time. That close, intimate environment, that's been fun. I've really enjoyed getting into artist DJing as well. Like, I've wanted to do that for a while. So yeah, I want to do a lot more of that next year, and even towards the end of this year. And then also, as well as that, sort of opening up for events like festivals and all those sorts of things. That would be.
So DJing, to be a great DJ, it has to be more than just playing good tunes. I mean, that's one thing that I've been beginning to figure out. So what's the difference between someone who's just playing music and a quality DJ?
Man, there's a few things, because obviously lockdown allowed people to. It opened up the doors for people to really get into DJing, just because of the technology and the timing and stuff like that. So the barriers to entry to DJing are quite low, but you have to be able to read your crowd, and that's something that just takes time and practice. And you have to be able to mix, and not everyone has at the moment the ability to kind of make sure things are on beat and you're mixing the songs at the right times. And you have to, there's a lot of, it's kind of managing people as well. The type of gigs that I do, because I've done a lot of different types, but I've done a lot of like the weddings, the open format gigs where people have a lot of requests, you have to be able to basically, if you can, of course, take on the request, see how you can slot it into the set list, try and keep people happy, change the dynamics. So there's a lot. It's mentally a lot outside of even just the technical side of DJing. And yeah, of course, you have to know how to use the decks, right? So just playing with the effects and making sure that you provide a smooth but interesting blend of music for your people. And yeah.
That's wonderful,
That's like
man.
that's basically it.
So as well as a DJ, you also do events, right? So and artist management. So tell us or introduce us to your organization, Young Future Co.
Yeah, Young Future Co. Shout out to the team.
Yeah, shout out to them as well.
Yeah, so as I said, we're an events and artist management company, talent agency as well. Originally started back in 2012 by Tim's, but I joined in 2014. And yeah, so it's been a case where we've always wanted to really provide a space for creators to do what they're doing. And it's had many evolutions, but yeah, right now we're really just through our three areas. We're giving our creatives a platform. So events, we have different types of events that we do. The flagship one being the lounge, and that is a live music showcase with our unique twist on it to really just bring together everyone and allow everyone to feel part of an experience. And yeah, we've had some amazing feedback, and things are growing in that respect. And then obviously we've done like open mics and like mixers just to have bring people together, network, have a good time, build community. So that's kind of what we've been doing on the event side of things. We've done some events consultation over the years as well. So like people, they have various events that they're doing, and we really just weigh into that and just bring out the best in what they're doing. Then we've got the artist management, which it's taken a lot of our time this year. And again, it's just been like, how do we show love to artists and give them, like, create an environment for them to thrive? So at the moment, we've got 3 artists and a band on our roster. So we're booking an agent for a band named Jazz Flavors. Shout out to the band. Very dope. You should check them out on Instagram. And then our 3 artists are Solaris, Dia Day, and Jay Lavely. All of them are somewhat in the R&B pop sort of alternate space. They've got a unique spin, some gospel influences in there, and yeah, we've had a great year. This year has been a great year. We've been building foundations. So we started management back in 2019. Started working with Solaris, and obviously we've been building foundations over the last few years, and then brought on Jay Lavely and then Dia recently this year, and we've just seen a lot of growth. Even the platforms that we've been on so far this year have been crazy. Like, bro, Solaris did some work with Skylar Tyler opening up for WizKid. Jay Lavely traveling with the Kingdom Choir, did an American tour. Dia Day, she's been killing it on the likes of like Cross the Tracks and stuff like that. So yeah, Dia's cool. No, she's great. She's great. So I'm proud of everyone on the team, but again, like it's a testament to the guys on my team. They're an amazing set of people, and yeah, we come together quite well to just make sure everything happens. So yeah.
So God has been good.
He really has, bro. I don't think you understand. Yeah, he really has.
A brief testimony how you come to know the Lord Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, okay, yeah. So I grew up in a Christian home. I mean, my mom was very influential. Like, she was very adamant that we were always in church in terms of like Sunday to Sunday, kind of teaching. You know what I'm saying? And her thing was like, you gotta know God for yourself. And she said this a lot before I went to uni. And then life happens, right? Life happens. You grow up, you start meeting people. People outside of your sphere of influence, or like they start to influence you. And so I started kind of going my own way a little bit when I was maybe 16 or so. Got to uni now, and I'd be in church, but I'm not really serving the Lord, and a lot of stuff started happening. To cut a long story short, a lot of stuff started happening, and the final thing that happened was I was doing really, really well in events at the time. I was quite known in the university I was in, and I was doing quite well in sports as well. And I had a promising future. I used to play rugby, American football, and I was taught like where I was starting to move to a place where I could start playing abroad and playing semi-professionally and stuff like that. And I ended up getting hit by a car one day, and that kind of stopped me. Thankfully, I like that was a miracle in itself. I came out of that situation with literally just a torn rotator cuff, but I couldn't play sports. So I was like, oh well, I mean, I guess I'll go to church, and through the process of about a month and a half, God really started talking to me, and one day I said, you know what, God, I'm here. I'm just gonna serve you, man, and yeah.
That's good. So you love the Lord. You're serving Him. You're saved by His grace, and now you're in this company which specializes in events, artist management, and things like that. So let's get into events for a little bit. I got a few questions to ask, but for me, what I want to ask is, what makes a good event? Because we've just talked previously about what makes a good DJ, but what makes an event pop?
Yeah, man, there's a lot of factors. So from the organizational point of view, because I look at that quite a lot. It's kind of like, if you can get an event to the place where it's as seamless as possible, where it runs on time, where kind of all the different bits start to come together. There's good chemistry with everyone who's kind of involved, like the host and all the different people involved, then I feel like that makes for a good event. Obviously, you look at all the different bits that you've planned, and you just want to make sure that it runs the way you envisage it. But I think from a customer experience point of view, like my whole thing is, I want people to, not everyone is like super extroverted, so I want people to turn up and have a good time. I want the person who's like, who maybe came by themselves and a bit shy, to leave and be like, actually, I felt a part of that experience. And like, I felt like, because sometimes you go places and it's kind of like, the event happens and it happens at you. But my whole thing is, for if the event is successful, if people felt like they were part of the event, then I know it's successful. So that's kind of what I look for in terms of like making sure that everything is successful. Yeah.
So I just had a bit of something that I was thinking about, how social media is great, but it's no supplement for what we're doing, just actual people conversation. So talk about how social media is great, but it's just a supplement to the real thing, which is real connection in physical, in a physical way, not just digital, and how that's important for human friendships to flourish. Like what have you seen in your observation? Because I think that the whole question is, why does it seem that we've arrived to the conclusion that social media is good, but it's not enough in regards to social interaction?
Yeah, social media can be an amazing tool.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we get too caught up in it. Sometimes I feel like it needs to be used as part of a wider strategy. Because I guess if you don't know as much, you might think that, okay, if I make this post go viral, then loads of people are going to come to my event. I mean, that could help bring more people in or get more eyes on what's going on, but that doesn't necessarily translate to ticket sales. So I think if you're able to use social media correctly, you can do so much. You can get more eyes on what you're doing. You can then convert that to people actually buying tickets. But I've found that a lot of the successful events businesses, or people who kind of they have connections with people, they know people know who they are. So it's, if I it's literally the same thing as a random guy coming up to you and being like, oh yeah, I've got an event, like, can you come? Or someone that you know of, or you've had conversations with, is like, I've got this cool event. You know what they're like, you know that they're gonna have a good time. You're more likely to go to that person's event. And so, especially now, because I'll be honest with you, I used to hate the whole thing about promoting, like being a promoter or whatever. But it's just had to change the mindset around it. Because I was always like, oh yeah, like, I'll let the work speak for itself, and obviously social media will help. But I understand the fact that, you gotta be out there, you gotta meet people, and that will allow you to basically, again, translate those things into sales. So,
So you're in artist management, and I imagine you have quite a lot of expertise in that regard as well as events. So we're all about music, and Christian music in particular. So we spoke to DJ TAI earlier on about where we are at, how we've improved, but also about the next steps. So, what's your perspective on that?
In terms of
In terms of how far we've progressed as a scene, and also moving forward, as someone who has expertise in artist management and things like that.
so, just this is to kind of preface. I've only been a part of the gospel scene like that. Again, I DJ in a lot of spaces. I only entered the space over lockdown, so my input was very different. I had a very secular mindset, right? And to be honest, I'm at a place where I can actually show people music, and they like I like the music I'm showing people. Do you know what I'm saying? Like my whole thing is to be able to introduce people to songs that translate. You know, and they'd be like, "Oh, this song is cool. Like, what is this?" I was literally doing a baby shower a couple weeks ago. A friend of mine, just showing love to the fam, and I was playing a song by Mark Jones. And
Mark
this
Jones,
guy I know,
dope,
he's cool,
dope,
man. He makes some great music.
Oh yeah.
And
Last album was great.
yeah. Oh, you're serious. And one guy came up to me and was like, "What's this song? Like, this song is cool, man." And then I followed this guy on SoundCloud, and I went onto his SoundCloud, and he had reposted Mark Jones' song and my recent mix, which is where he heard the song from. By the way, Crepes Tape, the second drop. Follow it, go check it out. Anyway, but yeah. So my whole thing is about what translates, what sounds good, and we'll really get in there with the sound, the creativity, the bars, the vocals. You know, we've got a long way to go. We do, but I think we're headed in the right direction for sure.
So I mean, I know there's great artists out there that stand out, but as well as Mark Jones, who else do you like? Who else do you like? And by the way, we're not discriminating. I know everyone's doing their thing, but who stands out to you?
All right, cool. So, but people who I've been rocking with, RJ, not as, I guess in terms of the marketing side of things, not as out there. He's solid. Dave Creates, solid. 6, 7, 8, Nath. He's got a very great commercial voice, great energy. There's so many people.
As well as obviously the acts that you have as well.
That's a given, right? But I'm just gonna stop there because there's so many people I can name. But we got a wealth of talent.
We're gonna get on music, but let's just park it for now. There's something I want to talk about. You also into boxing. How did you get into that? Sipping your tea. You're fun.
You know what? It was random. So my whole thing. So long story short, as I said, I used to be a rugby player. I got into a really bad rugby accident about 5 years ago. Tore 3 ligaments on my knee, and I was just out of action for a few years. And I wanted to get back into being active. I wanted to get back into that mindset of like, the athletic, slight, not aggressive mindset, but it's kind of like you're going for the target. I like that mindset. So I wanted to kind of get back into that, but I wasn't trying to play rugby because again, and I was like, I've never boxed before, so this is gonna put me out of my comfort zone. And so I signed up for like an ultra white collar boxing program where it's like you train for 8 weeks and then you fight. And that was literally it. I threw myself in there and I said, you know what, by force and fire, I'm gonna do this. And so I did it last year and I did it this year as well. And I can retire now. I've accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. But obviously I'll still be training and stuff like that. But it was in terms of stepping in a ring, not having the experience, it's a bit crazy. But it was good. It was a good experience. I enjoyed it.
Wonderful. So, which begs a question. So, in the church, and when we minister to, there's quite a lot of emphasis on spiritual discipline, on spiritual growth. But the Bible does also say that physical exercise. Even Paul, when he wrote to Timothy, he said that physical exercise is of some value. It has some value. Do you think that's something that is not maybe emphasized enough in the church? That it's good to be physically strong and it's good to exercise. Do you think we need to hear that from the church as well?
Yeah, we do, 100%. Because firstly, I think a lot of people their lives could be extended, I think you can probably be more effective. Because if you walking up the stairs and you breathing heavy by the time you get up 4 stairs, and like, but you spiritual, like your effectiveness is limited because you're gonna feel tired all the time. You're not gonna be able to. The lifestyle's gonna catch up to you. You're gonna need to rest. Then you've got health issues, and people are like that whole thing of I want to say Jesus is my vaccine, or like Jesus got me. You're like he's the Holy Spirit will keep me healthy. Yes, but he gave you a body. If he said the body is a temple, you gotta take care of it. And so I'm aware of the fact that, like, for myself, I want to be able to operate properly. I want to be healthy. I want to feel good. And so it's important to try and take care of the body. I mean, do I do it the best? I could do better. I could, but I'm aware of it and I'm working towards it.
Yeah. No, it's important. Like, it doesn't say, the Bible does not say, and I think we agree that physical exercise is of no benefit. It says it has some benefit. Obviously,
it shouldn't be the thing you focus on the most.
It's a value, and I think it's good to look healthy.
And let's address the mindset. Why would if you're a spiritual person and everyone talk about saving souls, right? Why would you want someone to listen to you if you don't pay attention to yourself, if you don't focus on yourself, if you don't take care of the body, which everyone likes to quote is the temple, then why would you want other people to do so? You want to I'm just gonna use this for example. You'd be looking at someone who's smoking, like, how could you smoke? But you
eat 5 burgers a day.
You eat 5 burgers a day. Okay. I'm looking to camp for this one. You eat 5 burgers a day, okay? And you can tell. Like, we've got it's that whole thing of being authentic and actually living it out. If you want to do it properly.
It kind of makes me think, I like there's this song that though, I don't know if you heard it. You're a DJ, so you should have heard it. I really like this organization, Ballers in God, and they did a song, Ballers in God organization did a song with Raptist and D Witness, 2 great rappers, but it was to promote Ballers in God. Because basically, real talk, there are actually footballers out there who are Christians, and there's actually Ballers in God is actually an organization that is trying to disciple these guys while they're playing sport. It's good to see that, yes, this should be encouraged. Yeah, but yes, it's good to even pursue sport for the glory of God, right? Or music.
I don't think that there's many places that we shouldn't be in. There's clearly places we shouldn't be in, but I think in terms of the typical mindset that we should be in specific arenas. For example, not everyone is called to the ministry of starting a church or being a pastor, which I feel like people focused on a bit too much in recent in times past, and so it's kind of like, okay, cool, just knowing where you're called to and working towards that.
And everyone has different callings, right? Yeah, and so it's not just about being the pastor or the leader of a worship band, and we're called to go out to every arena, to everywhere, and share the good news. So wonderful, mate, wonderful. So let's get back to industry and to your experience. BBC One Extra. How did you get there, mate?
Yeah. So I mean, I've done some mixes for the BBC One Extra Gospel Corner. Shout out to the team. Do you know what it is? It came by a recommendation. So obviously the team were looking for DJs who do gospel, and someone recommended me. Shouts to all of you guys. I'm gonna shout out some of the people. Shouts to DJ Shuns. She's been someone who's been a big source of support.
I was going to ask you about her. She's great. We interviewed her actually previously. Yeah.
We got Mr. Mince. We got DJ Prosper, DJ Renz. So DJ Shuns and DJ Renz. Those are 2 people who early on, especially DJ Renz, like right at the very beginning, put me on. So I got a lot of love for them. So, but yeah, got an email, and I was like, I'm here for it. Let me run it, and So that's been the vibe.
Yeah, and the fact that you have a gospel scene in the BBC is showing that as a scene we're doing quite well. What do you think? Why do you think people are turning heads and saying, okay, they're talking this church talk, but they're doing all right. Let's give them a platform.
Because it sounds good. That's it. Obviously we got the message, but it sounds good. Yeah. The thing is, like,
it's got to be both, right?
See, for me, when I listen to music, I listen to the sound first. I don't be listening to the lyrics at first. I'm meant to, but I don't. So as long as if it vibes, then I'll pay attention to it. And I think we're getting to a place where people, like, it's starting to be undeniable that the music sounds good. So that's why people are paying attention to it. People are working on the artistry. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's my. And obviously, again, we have people on the inside. We have people like myself and other people in more influential places than me who are pushing on the who are just not spoken about enough. There's so many people who are advocating on the inside of organizations to get us to the places that we're getting into, and so I want to shout every single one of them out as well.
Let's talk about you and your varied roles in various areas. What have been some of the highlights you've enjoyed so far in your career, both in events, DJing, artist management? Overall, what's some of the highlights?
Do you know what it is? So I mean, you know, for DJing, it's when you have those events where the energies just come together so well. It doesn't even have to be the biggest event. And I get into this mode. If I start dancing at the decks and I start, you know, like I know I'm locked in, and everyone's feeling my energy, we love that. My first international gig was amazing. Again, shouts to Governor B for that. That was like a highlight for me, because I've left the country. I said I wanted to do this. I've done this. To be fair, even shouts to Art to Light, Auntie Angela for putting me on to Notting Hill Carnival, because that was an experience as well. The events I do, I'm not gonna lie, like, because I do a lot of my stuff with Young Future, so like just seeing that grow and seeing people like, yeah, someone came up to me one day and was like, have you thought about taking this abroad? And that was amazing. I said, wow. So from the DJ perspective, I think there's been quite a few highlights, but that definitely sits in there.
So I was talking to your artist earlier, and we're talking about how, as Christians, unfortunately we have a tendency to say that the way we do things have got to be a certain way, and we get a lot of hate and even critique, should I say, for approaching something in a way that is not the orthodox, right? It's not the orthodoxy of how we do things. How do you, what's you being the manager of this artist and with that trajectory that you have taken, how are you dealing with it, and how are you trying to contribute to this discussion and the development of who we are and what we're supposed to do and how it's supposed to look like?
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna take a step back and say, when my parents raised me, my mom was particularly vocal on this. Was, you gotta know your God. You gotta know your God. Build your relationship with yourself. So I've had many moments where people have said stuff to me. I was like, show me where that is in the Bible. Let's talk this out, because I'm not gonna. And I guess it's easy for me to say this because people don't know me. Like, no, I'm a nobody, right? No one really knows me, so I kind of, in a way, have had the ability to just do my own thing, if that makes sense. But my whole thing is, you gotta build that personal relationship with God to understand, because this whole thing is individual. You know what I'm saying? We need to be authentic and understand, okay, cool, these are my triggers. Like, know yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I try not to be judgmental and all that sort of stuff, but I'm just like, hold yourself to standards, right? So when it comes to my artists, especially with the rooms we're getting into now, I'm just like, my conversation with them is like, who do you want to be? Like, who are you? Like, who do you want to be? What do you want to be known for? Especially the guys. I'm like, what do you want to be known for? Because you got this talent, and let's be real. There's gonna be people who come up to you and they're like, oh my gosh, you amazing. Yeah, I just, I think about you all the time. And like, how you handle that is gonna be, because people talk, right? So you gotta think about all those things before you make decisions. And it's something that, especially as men, we have to really work through in this space. So there's been situations where no one necessarily did anything wrong. However, things can be perceived certain ways because of just how people are. And so we have conversations afterwards, and it'll be like, okay, cool, like this happened, but I know what your intentions were. You didn't do anything crazy, but because maybe, for example, you entertained this conversation to be nice, someone could have thought something else, and all these sorts of things. So it's kind of like, what are your values, basically? And obviously it helps that we're all Christians, because we're coming from the same base kind of situation. So my whole thing is trying to include God in what we're doing, even if it's not as overt as others.